On a side note though, don't overcomplicate your pec training. I mean, let's be completely honest. I don't know how many of you have noticed, your pecs realistically are not that big of a muscle group as everyone makes it out to be. They are a very visible muscle group because they're right here in the front, but they're not actually that big of a muscle group compared to others. For example, is your tricep actually bigger than your pec? Do the research, you'll be surprised what you see. I mean, it's not like our quads, our lats, where they're this big and require so much attention. Everyone keeps overtraining the chest. Everyone's doing so many different exercises, so many extra sets that are realistically needless. Your pecs are not that big. Keep it simple. Train it like you would any other muscle group. Just because it's very visible in the front doesn't mean it's that big. Doesn't mean you actually need to be doing that much work towards it. What's up everyone, David here. Got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. Now today, we're gonna be talking about everyone's favorite muscle group. What is it that we train on Mondays? International Chest Day, the pecs, pectoralis major, chesticles, whatever you wanna refer them to. We're talking about the pecs, the chest muscle. I mean, I'm talking about pressing, all types. Bench pressing, incline, cable crossovers, dips, push-ups, whatever you want to do. We're going to be discussing what are the exercises that you should be including in your pec routine. Now, before I actually start rattling off some ideas of what I personally would do, that's exactly what this is. This is just me personally. Do what you think is best for you. You know your body better than everyone else. You know which exercises you respond well to, which ones you can see progress from. This is just what I personally would do, and they're going to be giving my reasoning for why I would do these. On a side note though, don't overcomplicate your pec training. I mean, let's be completely honest. I don't know how many of you have noticed, your pecs realistically are not that big of a muscle group as everyone makes it out to be. They are a very visible muscle group because they're right here in the front, but they're not actually that big of a muscle group compared to others. For example, is your tricep actually bigger than your pec? Do the research, you'll be surprised what you see. I mean, it's not like our quads, our lats, where they're this big and require so much attention. Everyone keeps overtraining the chest. Everyone's doing so many different exercises, so many extra sets that are realistically needless. Your pecs are not that big. Keep it simple. Train it like you would any other muscle group. Just because it's very visible in the front doesn't mean it's that big. Doesn't mean you actually need to be doing that much work towards it. If you actually do want to look big from the upper body, it's actually your side delts that you should be training because those are the ones that actually make you look wide, make you look big. That's very visible. Your chest, if you're standing from the side, you see they don't stand out as much. Even if you have good posture, realistically, it's not that bad. I mean, just look at my arm, compare the triceps, how much that can stick out compared to your pec. So just want to throw that out there. Don't overcomplicate your pec training. Don't think that your chest is this grand muscle group, all right? Realistically, it's not. Now, what are we gonna be doing? Me personally, I only do 3 exercises for my pecs, and for each one, I do 3 working sets. I'm talking about good, hard working sets. What do we count as a good set? Pushing hard enough to the point where even after you're done, you still have 1, maybe 2 reps left in the tank. That is what we're gonna be considering a good set. Warm-up sets do not count because realistically, you don't get anything out of a warm-up set. You only see results from those reps where you have to really push and strain against the weight. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I say 3 exercises. There's so many people out there that do up to 8, 9, 10 different exercises, 10 different pressing variations for your chest. But at the end of the day, the number of exercises that you do for a muscle group does not matter. What matters is the total number of good working sets you're doing for that particular muscle group. So if you want to do 10 sets of bench press, okay, that's fine. If you want to do 2 exercises for chest, but each one for 5 sets, that's still 10. If you want to do an exercise for 4 sets and then another one for 3 sets and another one for 3 sets, that's perfectly fine. At the end of the day, it's still 10 sets for that muscle group. So just want to point that out there. You don't need to be coming up with so many different exercises. What you do need to take into account is going to be the number of sets that you put towards that muscle group. So for me personally, I keep it simple. Exercise number 1, and it's not really an exercise, it's more of a movement pattern. I need some type of horizontal push. Pretty much what that means is my arms are pressing away from me, and when my arms are extended, they're perpendicular to my torso. So what are we talking about here? I'm talking about bench pressing, I'm talking about dumbbell pressing, I'm talking about machine pressing. Any type of pressing movement where you're pushing the weight away from you, that's what we need. For me personally, what I do for my chest workout is going to be, old school bench pressing, just real simple. Every gym has a bench. Every gym has a bar, load up the plates all the way down, touch your chest, all the way up, lock out those elbows. That's just me personally, what I do. That's gonna be the #1 exercise. Why is this one #1? You get the most bang for your buck. I'm talking about big compound movements should be taking the priority. Okay, yes, you also get some good tricep work, but for me personally, just the heavy pressing movements, I get a real good pump. I feel my pecs working the way that they should. Notice the other variations that I brought up. I not only said regular barbell bench press, I also said dumbbell bench press, and I also said machine press. I see too often, many people, they do however many sets they want of bench press, which is perfectly fine. But then right after, they go to some other type of pressing variation, like a dumbbell bench press or a machine press, and they do however many sets they want for that exercise. But I wanna know why. At the end of the day, is it not the same movement that you're already doing? I mean, let's look at it this way. Barbell bench press, you're moving this way, okay? For a machine press, you're moving this way. The only difference is when you're lying down, but essentially your arms are still moving in the same pattern in comparison to your torso. So why are we moving from one machine to another if we're essentially doing the same movements and essentially working the same muscle groups? That's the point I'm trying to get out to you. You need to start realizing that if you're doing so many of these new different exercises, what is the reasoning for it? If you're just trying to add variety to your workout, then by all means, go for it. Again, you know yourself better than I do. You can do whatever you want. But for me personally, I wouldn't do 2 movements that are essentially the same movement pattern if it's gonna be working the same group. If I say I'm gonna do 6 sets of chest, I'd rather just do 6 sets of one exercise instead of doing 3 bench press and then 3 chest press, because essentially it's the same thing. You know, that's what I'm saying. You're just wasting time doing the same movement on a different machine. Just stick with the same machine. I mean, you're just wasting time transitioning from that one to the next, but that's just my personal opinion. Second exercise, or movement I should say, is now gonna be something incline. So this one is different because now we're no longer doing some type of horizontal press like this. Now we're actually angling up a little bit. We're doing incline. Why? It's because what is the one part of the chest that almost everyone is always gonna need a little bit more work on? It's going to be the upper chest, okay? When we do our flat benching, or I should just say our horizontal pressing, it works the entire pec region. When we do anything inclined, so again, our back is a little bit up and now we're pressing just straight upwards like this, it is still working the entire chest. The only difference is now it's adding a little bit more emphasis to the upper pec. A lot of people say they're doing incline because they're only working the upper pec. No, you are not only working the upper pec. You're working the entire muscle group. It's just more of the emphasis is going towards this top region, which is something that everyone wants. Because again, it builds that shelf. You know, everyone's got the down part right here, the part that droops down, but we always want to work on the upper. That one's going to be lacking a little bit more. How do you work it? By angling your torso a little bit higher as you're pressing up. So we got barbell incline press or dumbbell incline press. For me specifically, what do? I go with dumbbells. Why is this? It's because when we're doing a bench press or we're doing any type of pressing with a bar, it's fair to say both arms or both sides are working. But if one is weaker than the other one can compensate for it and help you get it up. When we have dumbbells, now each arm is gonna be working differently because now we feel the full weight of one arm and the full weight on the other arm. If one side is weaker, we're obviously gonna tell it's gonna be going up, not as fast as the other. It's not like a bar where it's all connected where one side can make up for the other. No, now if you're using dumbbells, each arm is moving on its own. It's gonna be really exposing your weaknesses. So if you got one arm that's weaker, now's your chance to bring it up. So that's why if you're gonna be doing one movement with a bar, the other one should be with dumbbells or vice versa. If you want to do dumbbell bench press as your flat movement, then on the incline you want to do barbell, that's perfectly fine. Me personally, I would recommend at least one of them has to do with dumbbells. One of them has to have a weight in each arm so you can work them individually, bring up those weak points because everyone has one arm that's weaker than the other. For me personally, left arm is weaker, even though I'm left-handed, which is a little weird. Third and final exercise is going to be some type of isolation movement for the chest. The first two that we talked about, the flat pressing and the incline pressing, those are what we call compound movements. Compound movements means that we're working multiple joints at a time. When we press, what are the 2 joints that are moving? We got our shoulder joint and we got our elbow joint that are moving. So what does this mean? It means that we're working multiple muscle groups. Chest, because the shoulder is moving, and triceps, because the elbow is moving. Because again, our triceps are what's being worked when we're locking out our elbow. And then as we're pushing our arm forward, that's gonna be the pec. What happens when it comes to these 2 movements? Sometimes, what is it that tires us out? It's our triceps. Maybe our chest can push a little bit further, but our triceps are too burnt out and we can't get the weight anymore up. So now it's gonna be your chance to get that isolation work in. Isolation means only one joint is moving, therefore only one muscle group is being worked. So what does this mean? I'm talking about any type of flies, whether it be with dumbbells or the cable. Those are realistically gonna be my favorite go-tos. For me personally, what did I do? I prefer a little bit more of the cable crossover, because again, there's only one joint that's moving. It's gonna be the pec. I'm not pressing the cables forward. I already did my pressing variations. I don't need to do that same movement on a different machine. No, now it's only my chest. And what I like about these isolation movements is now you can get a deeper stretch on the pec, because again, what do we need for growth, to build the muscle? We need the full range of motion, and you need enough resistance at the lengthened portion of the movement. So if you're the type of person who doesn't go all the way down with their flies, you only go up to here, no, stretch all the way back. Feel this being lengthened and then contract. That's what you need. So at the end of the day, chest workouts, 2 pressing movements. One of them is gonna be flat, the other one is gonna be incline. Third movement is gonna be isolation, something where only the pecs are being worked and you can take advantage of that full stretch and then contract. So that's gonna be, for me personally, fly variations, whether it be a cable crossover, whether it be dumbbell flies or even a machine fly like a pec deck, whatever you want, just those 3 variations will target your chest nice and evenly, and that way you can build it up the way it should be. Now, some of you may be thinking, okay, well, why can't I do decline bench press if I want to work the lower part? Let's be completely honest. Who actually needs to work on the lower part of your chest? That is the easiest part that's going to be built up. When we're looking at someone's chest, the line underneath your pec, that's very noticeable. You do not need to work on that part as much as you may think it is. As long as you're doing your main pressing movements, that's gonna be built up already regardless. Again, it's so easy to build that part up. You don't need to be working on that. Most people though do need to work a little bit more on the upper, because that one could be a little bit harder to build up. The definition right here down the middle that divides the 2 pecs, that is something that most people may need to work on a little bit more, and that's what we get from the cable crossovers, actually crossing all the way over. That's what's gonna help build a little bit more of that. But the lower pec, I mean, come on, if you need to do decline, no. There you have it, everyone. That is what I personally would do for my pec routine. Again, your chest is not that big grand muscle group that everyone makes it out to be. Just because it's in the front doesn't mean it's that big of a muscle group, because I mean, when you look at it, your chest is relatively flat. It's not like your tricep where it actually sticks out a lot more. So we don't need to do so many sets, so many different exercises, spend so much time for that one muscle group. It's not like your legs where you have 4 different muscle groups, your glutes, your quads, your hams, your calves, where you need to work each one of them. You have to dedicate so many different exercises, so many different sets. That's different. When it comes to your legs, there's 4 different muscle groups that you have to be on the lookout for, and you got to make sure you target each one separately. For chest days, you're dedicating the same amount of exercises, but for only one muscle group, man, you're overdoing it. Keep it simple. Like I said, me personally, I only do 3 exercises, 3 sets each, and I'm good to go, because I know I'm pushing hard enough for those 3 sets. If you want to do a little bit more, you want to do a little bit less, up to you. Again, it's all about what you know your body responds well to. Everyone's gonna be a little different. You know yourself better than everyone else. Find what exercises work for you and stick with it. At the end of the day, no matter what suggestions everyone gives you, nothing is going to work and nothing is gonna give you results if you're not even eating the right amount of protein, pushing hard enough, getting adequate rest. All those things need to be taken into account to maximize your gains. So just wanna put that out there. Comment down below if this video was helpful. Comment down below also what is your pec routine. What are your go-to exercises? How many sets, how many reps? Give the full breakdown in the comments below. Comment down below also any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is, comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help you all out. Be sure to subscribe not just to this channel, but my girlfriend's channel and our couple's channel, so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, we got new videos every week across the board for all 3 channels. For this channel specifically, new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. So don't miss out. Instagram, TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on my accounts, girlfriend's accounts, couple's accounts. I put all the links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.